We get you some coffee with some
No.
sugar?
Black coffee?
Black coffee.
Black coffee?
Since then I'm very when I drink black coffee I can't sleep.
You can't sleep, huh? No black coffee.
Rabbi, can we ask a question?
I give you I give
Let's
you
leave
time
questions for the answers. We'll leave questions, we'll leave the time for questions.
I became very allergic to black coffee. And then if I drink black coffee in the morning, I can't sleep a whole night. But anyways, although the black coffee saved my life. Ladies and gentlemen, we came to the next death camp called Mauthausen. You heard Mauthausen? If you think Auschwitz was bad, Mauthausen was infinitely worse. Let me just give you one example. What did the Germans, what did they consider about the Jews? The chief commandant of Mauthausen, this SS general, he had a son, that's it one because I like to go out to other camps also. He had a son who's when we were there, his son was 50, became 15 years old, his birthday, the 15th birthday. So he wanted to give a gift, a present to his son. Imagine what kind of gift this commandant, a general SS commander, the chief commander of the Mauthausen death camp. What present would he give to his son? His son liked very much target shooting. You know the circles, you have the bullseye, and shoot the bullseye, yes? And this was his favorite game for his son, target shooting. What do you think what was the gift, the present? He gave 15 Jews to become the target. And was it the bullseye, the left eye, right eye, or the left eye? And within a half an hour, he killed for his pleasure 15 Jews shooting into the eyes, into the brain of these 15 Jews. This was the present for his son, to make his son happy. So we were the guinea pigs, yes? They shoot, this was it. Anyways, let me go to the next lager. We came to Melk, next death camp. In these camps anymore, and once we came to Germany, there was no more selection. Anybody, until he died on his own, nobody was killed. I was sent in the gas chamber. So I wasn't in danger anymore to be sent in the gas chamber, but without food, sickness, and so on. Came to Melk. Can you hear me? It's tremendous. This Melk was even worse than Mauthausen. Every next lager became progressively worse and worse and worse. If anybody infringed on anything what the SS would say, for example, we had to get up 4 o'clock in the morning to work. A person would get up 15 minutes later because he was so tired. 15 minutes later, he was put to death. But how? Not to be shot. They hanged him. He was hung by his hands, his poles. Every time he came back from work, we saw scores of Jews hanged by the poles, they hung until they died. Somebody was even did something even more, what they felt against the Germans. Didn't come 2-3 times. Not they hanged them by the hand, but the legs with the head down, legs up, and that's how they did. You just can imagine this death camp and this Melk. Anyways, suddenly we came back from work. Again, every muscle, every part of the body, every organ, every limb was in pain. We need to rest. And evening could have been 9 o'clock, 8:30. Sun in the barrack, 1,200 people in the barrack. They say tonight is Pesach, Passover. How did anybody know that today is Passover? It's beyond me. Today I can understand because we didn't have anything, no calendar, no prayer book, nothing. But anyways, people said tonight is Passover. What do we have to do on Pesach? What do we, Jew, what does do Passover? We celebrate. We say the Agoda, yes? Agoda. They recite the Agoda at the Seder. Everybody jumped up on their beds, instead of laying and resting until falling asleep. We sat up on the bunk beds. We started to celebrate Pesach. Matzah, I'm sure everyone knows what matzah is. We didn't have matzah. But you know what we had? What else we did in addition to matzah? More of the bitter herb, yes? We did bitter. These we had plenty. The bitter herb, the suffering, we had plenty. Anyways, we were celebrating Pesach. Pesach, we have to say, recite the Agoda. By the table, recite. Didn't have any prayer book, no master, nothing. So everybody, whoever remembered anything from home, I, for example, as you know, what does a Seder a child does? Ask the 4 questions, yes? My childish voice, said loud, it's ringing. Tat, everybody fragen, Tat, I want to ask you the 4 questions. I said loud, and the 1,200 people, 1,000 inmates repeated. And I also knew the other parts of the Agoda. I was saying it, I was singing, you know the famous, in the Lager, the hit parade, Ani Mamin, I believe, we sang the Ani Mamin. All the hymns and songs for the Seder, we're singing. Can you imagine, 1,200 people were celebrating, singing, and clapping, and celebrating Pesach. Such a thing was unheard of in any camp. We were suffering. We could sing, we should celebrate. And 1,200 people were singing. Suddenly, I don't know what in the other barracks, I only can tell you the barracks where I was. So suddenly, SS comes in and sees, they see that we are all sitting on the beds and celebrate singing. Singing him, Melk, what are you singing about? He becomes furious, takes off his rifle, says if you don't lay down, because we have to get up 4 o'clock to work, you should not be tired. He says, if you don't lay down and go to sleep, you'll all be shot. And says this automatic rifle, that you all be shot. Ladies and gentlemen, believe my son many times, SS, for any whim, decide that he would start shooting a few hundred people just for no reason whatsoever. And said it would be a badge of honor to kill as many Jews as possible. So when he warned us, if you don't lay down and you get up again, you'll all be shot. For him it would be even a badge of honor. So of course immediately everybody hit the pillow, because it was no pillow, just the wooden planks of wood. Everybody lay down. It didn't take 10 minutes as the SS walked out. Everybody jumped up. We continued to celebrate, singing, and whoever, I knew the Hallel also by heart, so I said loud, and everybody repeated it. We continued celebrating. Maybe a half an hour later, the SS comes in again, furious, enraged, angry, and he takes off the machine gun. He says, if this will happen, this is the final warning. If this will happen once more, all of you will be shot. So I told him about them, it wasn't just a vain warning. He meant it. And he could have done it. And he would be honored, because another star on his lapel. So of course everybody again lay down. But this was over 10 o'clock in all the camps. Auschwitz, Birkenau, Mauthausen, Buchenwald, Dachau, every place, 10 o'clock, lights went out, and just a little dim light remained. And we continued. The 3rd time, we got up, we started continuing celebrating. It was after 10 o'clock, it's already dark in the barrack. And he comes in, but really, really, really angry. We thought, this is our end. Furious, angry. And he holds the machine gun, trembling with anger. We thought for sure this is the end of us. And he looks around from one end of the barrack, 1,200 people at the end of the barrack. Several times around and around. And I don't know, he changed his mind, decides, and he walks out. Ladies and gentlemen, we continue till 4 o'clock in the morning celebrating Pesach. He threatened us 3 times, and he could have done it. The 3 times, we continued till 4 o'clock without laying down to sleep, we want to work. When I described this episode, this event, I just asked the question, tell me, what's the festival of Pesach? It's a festival of freedom. Yes? We were liberated from slavery, from bondage, from Egypt, from slavery. Are we now less enslaved and in bondage than Jews were in Mitzrayim? The Jews in Mitzrayim and Egypt didn't suffer as much as what we suffered now in Auschwitz. What do we celebrate? It's a celebration of freedom. It's a celebration of liberation. What do we celebrate? Ladies and gentlemen, when I came home, I was thinking, what do we celebrate? At that moment, nobody asked this question. We celebrated. Although we were suffering infinitely more, the Jews suffered in Egypt. But another point which I like to emphasize, amongst these 1,200 inmates in this camp, in this barrack, was everybody a religious Jew. You see, after observe a religious Jew, Passover means to him very much. He wants to celebrate. Even a price he might risk endangers his life. Among these 1,200 people were also non-observant Jews. How come they didn't protest? They should have said, you fanatics, you endanger your life, go out from the barrack, celebrate outside. Why do you risk? Why do you endanger our life? There's scores of Jews who are not observant. So why didn't they should have told us, you want to celebrate, you fanatics, you want to celebrate, go outside. Ladies and gentlemen, 3 times, a whole night, we celebrated. We were threatened 3 times. I didn't hear one voice of protest, of objection, from any Jew who says, why do you risk our life? If you want to celebrate, go outside from the barrack, but don't endanger our life. Then I saw how every Jew is a believer. Sometimes this belief, this faith in God is dormant, is covered. A person is not conscious of it. But sometimes in certain moments of a person's life, this feeling, this religiosity, this feeling of connection with God comes to the fore. And I've seen it in this moment. Not one person objected. Not one person stopped us. We should celebrate. Everybody, even the non-Jews also, this time is Pesach, we celebrate, although we endanger our life. And this was going in Pesach, in Mengele. Ladies and gentlemen, I came to another lager, but this already even more horrendous. Gunskirchen. But I think we'll stop here. I'll give you ample time to ask questions, and maybe the question will add with other things also. This lady, yes?
Yes, you mentioned the SS as being the scum of the earth, right? And yet, notedly, the SS was supposed to be of very high caliber, that they were very careful about whom they included in the SS. Now, did they have an opportunity to refuse to belong to the SS? I mean, that's kind of confusing to us.
Yes,
on the side.
I think I did intimate, when I described these types of SS, the real SS, Hitler didn't send to the camps. Hitler sent out to the war effort. Whom did he send the scum of the earth, put on the SS uniform, and send these criminals, these rapists, these murderers. They became SS, but SS not in the war, because Hitler was ready, they betrayed Hitler. They sent us to Auschwitz, those criminals, this became the SS. There's not the same SS who went to the war. Two types of different. Yes, madam.
Yeah, it's surprising that this SS man helped you and the other SS didn't attack him for helping, or did they?
I was always afraid another SS will notice, especially one of you wearing the cap. Because if I wear an SS cap, immediately it would be a pretext to be shot. I was praying to God I shouldn't be discovered. And also another SS shouldn't see that he has a conversation with me. So this is also one of the dice, number 6, miracles of miracles. And nobody noticed it. For days I was walking with SS cap and I wasn't noticed.
Did you ever write a book on your story?
Let me tell you the manuscript which I wrote in Czechoslovakia after I came back from war.